Hi folks, welcome to Sail, Oar and Canvas. It is late December 2024 and I'm working on the refit. In fact, I've been working on the refit for several weeks slowly, but because it's been quite cold, quite damp and incredibly grey, very overcast, it hasn't really been possible to do much work per day. 2 or 3 hours, that's about it. It's the first bright day. In fact, there's blue sky today, so it's the first chance I've got to film. So I thought, yeah, come and get some film footage of what's going on with the refit. And in this video, unlike previous ones, I'll explain what's going on as well. I'll start logically at the bow. Seems a reasonable place to start. So at the bow, the first 2 things that go in are a ring bolt which goes in the outside face, the stem if you like, and that's to attach the lash of the boat to the trailer. And a second one up here, let's put this one out, that's a standard ring bolt, 8mm ring bolt, and that goes through the breast hook, and that's going to form an anchor fair lead, because occasionally I will need to anchor conventionally, and the line is just going to come through that and go back to a cleat on the mast thwart. Now, there's a very good reason why it's offset, and I will just show you that. And that is that also in the bow, or at the bow, it's going to be this little fitting. It's a little chock, goes about there, and it's there specifically to take the mast. Just show you that again. That's a little chock on the bow to drop the mast into. That's for when the mast is acting as a ridge pole for the tent over the boat, and of course the aft end is up. I'll show you that more when I come to that stage. Also in the bow space, as the foredeck essentially, are these little pads which I'm just pointing to, and what these are for is to securely attach the new buoyancy bag in the bow. I think that being essential for a dory-form hull. Right then, moving into the centre of the boat. Just be very careful because the boat rocks very easily. In the centre here, what you can see is the new combination daggerboard case in its pattern form. There's also a buoyancy tank this side to increase obviously the buoyancy in the middle of the boat. So this all has to come out. This is all dry fit, sort of attached together like so. And today I start to glue in the various pieces. One piece needs remaking because it's not quite close enough at the bottom edge there, and that's where it needs to be really attached to the hull very well. But today all I'm going to do, take all this apart and attach this piece in to the boat. And probably also the chock or cleat that squares this corner and eventually supports the front face of the new buoyancy tank. So the piece is glued to the original web, which is the frame if you like, and then just finishing on the inside with a fillet to glue and just smooth out the join between the 2 pieces. So one of the features of epoxy construction is that you can spend a lot of time filleting. In fact, you probably should, because they are actually hugely strength increasing joints. And they're very fiddly. Trying to scrape off some of the each job starts and ends with this, which is either pulling the cover over, pulling the cover back, and that's because the heater is on. You can probably just hear the hum in the video, and that's because I have to spend about an hour heating the glue up, and then an hour at least afterwards warming all the parts up after I've glued them in. And that's one of the principal difficulties of working in the winter. If you're wondering why such a small boat, such a small project is taking such a long time comparatively, it's because I'm working in the winter, so it takes a long time to set up to do a job and to cure any job that I do, and there are lots of small detail jobs in the boat. Things that you saw me doing at the bow is just putting on those pads for the buoyancy bag, just putting in things like the eye bolts. They've all been prepared, filleted, so there's a lot of time in that. And the other thing, of course, is that I'm trying to film it. Filming always slows down your work, and the combination of a camera and epoxy resin on your hands, it's really not a very good idea. So often I have to stop, take my gloves off, set the camera up, film, and then put new gloves on to carry on. So I get through an awful lot of pairs of gloves in this work, and because all the jobs are quite small, I'm using small aliquots of resin, but I'm using them quite frequently, so I'm actually getting through quite a bit of epoxy resin as well. Hi everybody. With the lid of the centreboard, daggerboard case built, that's the new one. That's waiting for its little hatch. Will be a round hatch in the top. That's going in next. I presume that'll be here in about a week's time. I decided to get on with the next major job at the same time. Now, excuse me a moment. I have here the old daggerboard, which I could have used, except that my daggerboard case is quite a bit higher, so it's kind of longer down the board, so you have less board in the water. My slight criticism of the design, it's actually a small criticism of John Harris's designs, and that's things like the Skerry, the Passage Maker and the Northeaster Dory, is that they all use these similar daggerboard designs, which is basically a piece of plywood cut, and I think it's only 12 millimeters, so they're quite thin, quite fine, and they seem to come without much shape to them. So in the past, for example, when I built the big Pathfinder, this is one of the design pages of the sheaf of plans that came to build the boat with, and this has the shape and the design for the rudder on it. So I of course built the centreboard and the rudder for that boat. So the first time I've ever done that, and I found the centreboard quite hard to do. It's quite thick, it's something like 50 millimeters thick, and it's quite specifically shaped to an aerofoil section, and I suspect that's one thing that John Welsford is very, very keen on. So I made that as honestly as I could, and then I realised, of course, that when I came to this boat that I had these plans available to take and use, and so what I've done is I have built a dagger board, not to that profile, so it would look like what, you know, John Wells would design rudder. It's of course it's a square dagger board, but it's certainly built to that airfoil section as best as I can, and I've done that with laminating some Douglas fir together, cutting this shape with planes slowly, and I'm at the stage of sanding. In a week or so's time I will glass this all over. I will coat this with some filler and make the final shape through some microlight filler, and hopefully I'll end up with a nice airfoil shape. As I say, I don't know really how much difference it makes, but it just feels better to me. I've come from a background of racing boats that always have nice airfoil section keels or dagger boards or centre boards or whatever. So that's that. This is the actual main section of the woodworking jobs, so it's not complete, but certainly coming to completion. And what I have to do next is all the completion jobs that finish off things like the thwarts and the daggerboard case. Filleting to do, lots of coating to do, lots of filling in of epoxy plugs for where fasteners go through. There's probably a week of that, and then I'm going to flip the whole boat over and I'm going to sand the whole exterior of the hull, and I plan to glass the underneath to give it more abrasion resistance for landing on, you know, shaly foreshores. So that's the end of the video for the first technical video, Sail Oar and Canvas. I wish you a happy new year, and hopefully we'll see you in a few weeks time with the next video. I'm going to try and produce them quite quickly now, and we'll be doing the finishing work here and then getting ready to stick this boat on its trailer and take it to water. So I'll see you then, eh?